Welcome back to more Pikmin 2. Last time, we got through the rest of the shower room, so this time, we're going after the remaining treasures of the Perplexing Pool. This is easily the scariest day we've had so far. Even though we've definitely had some struggles in the previous days, a lot can actually go wrong, especially on a no-death run. To start out, we want to take 80 blue Pikmin this way, partly because we mostly have leaf Pikmin, so I am going to make a detour to the eggs to try to get a full squad of flower Pikmin. We also want to defeat this fiery blowhog, so it doesn't mess with Pikmin as we're trying to collect treasure. I'm going to wait for it to attack and then swarm, like so, to try to defeat it before it starts attacking again. That worked great, actually. Next up, over here, we actually only defeated one of these swooping snitch bugs on the previous day, so let's defeat this one, and then go after the eggs. I do feel like enemies respawn pretty quickly. Like, it usually takes a couple in-game days, and in all fairness, it actually had been a while since we were here, since we did complete all of the Awakening Wood before actually returning here. So it does make sense that a lot of the enemies are respawning. Now that we have all flower Pikmin, we're going to head over to this wall to tear it down. There's usually an enemy, this little leaf enemy. That is not great. So we actually need to back up and, yeah, let the Wallywog move away from the wall and then try to work on this. Definitely a close call, but we got through it. Now, we are going to take 20 white Pikmin to start digging up some treasure. The Wallywogs over here actually respawned very quickly, so I actually didn't need to fight them on the previous day, but I guess it's fine. The white Pikmin should be fast enough to carry the treasure back without too much interference. So if we go over here, the radar is starting to go off, meaning the treasure is right over here, so they'll dig this up. Yeah, I've actually never had problems with the white Pikmin here, so we can actually leave them alone and let them work. And we won't have to worry about losing any Pikmin in the process. So let's head over to the main group. We actually do need both captains for a puzzle coming up. So yeah, we actually do need to take Louie over to the rest of the group. The wall is definitely going to take a bit. I actually don't know which is going to happen first, the wall being torn down or the white Pikmin arriving with that treasure. We didn't have a full squad of white Pikmin on that treasure, so it actually will take a little bit longer than it could. So yeah, I think both, timing-wise, are actually going to line up pretty well. From what I recall from practicing this day a couple of times to plan out the best route for this day, since there's actually quite a bit that we have to do here to clear out the area in only one more day. Yeah, we should be good to go before too much longer. I kind of hope it arrives soon. This is the fortified delicacy for 60 Pokos. And right on cue. So, now we have to wait for the wall. There's also another leaf over here. The leaf enemies, I actually don't remember the exact name. I think they're like skitter leaves or something. They're not actually able to harm Pikmin in this game, which is definitely foreshadowing, because there is a variant that can definitely harm Pikmin later on. We have another Hermit Crawmad, actually two. I'm trying to lure it out of its hole. And then we'll try to swarm as it's trying to retreat. We do want to defeat both of these, because as we're carrying a treasure back, they will get in the way. So to be on the safe side, we are going to stop and take these two out. Barely dodged that one, but we're fine. It is definitely a lot tougher fighting everything with blue Pikmin instead of purple Pikmin. Everything takes a lot longer. Actually, I'm not worried about fighting the water dumples with blue Pikmin now, partly because I have so many. On the previous day, we only had 40 to fight 3, and that would have gotten overwhelmed pretty quickly. So yeah, that's why I didn't fight the water dumples with blue Pikmin last time. We have another withering blowhog here, along with another cave entrance. Interesting. Deeper sections of this hole seem to be submerged in liquid. Sadly, I am a delicate piece of machinery that is sensitive to water. You two must go alone. Why do you look at me with such scornful expressions? I am an expensive machine. Fine, I'll go, but this wantonly reckless treatment of company property will be reported. If we didn't have the ship pod, we wouldn't be able to collect any treasure, so actually, we do need to have the ship come with us. This is definitely a puzzle that kind of breaks on this version. I actually don't think you can actually throw the Pikmin far enough on the GameCube version to complete this puzzle with like one captain and one Pikmin, but it's actually pretty easy to do so, like that, just by tossing the Pikmin to the next scale. Next up, we want to toss Pikmin up to this ledge. This is kind of similar to where the Ionium Jet number 2 was, though you actually approached it from that side originally and tossed from the side rather than using the scales. So we want to have about 30 Pikmin carrying this back, which is the max. So that's almost enough, but we'll wait till they bring that down and then we'll swarm. But yeah, they kind of pass by where the Hermit Crawdads are, so I do recommend actually fighting all of these just to clear a safe path, and also fighting the fiery blowhog so it doesn't start lighting Pikmin on fire on the way back. With 50 Pikmin, we are going to head over to the electric fence that we tore down yesterday and start carrying that stuff back. We actually lost quite a few flower Pikmin. There is a stone patch right by the cavern entrance, so we will try to get flower Pikmin again before we actually enter. But in the meantime, we should be fine with just leaf Pikmin. We have this little lid here that takes 20 Pikmin, which actually sets us up pretty perfectly for something coming up. Though to be fair, we have mostly leaf Pikmin, so I actually might take a little bit of time and play this a little bit safer. I actually don't remember if I pointed this out, but it occurred to me that the yellow onion and blue onion are actually both located where cannon beetles were in Pikmin 1. Like, it occurred to me during this playthrough that, yeah, both are where the cannon beetles were originally, with the big tree stump in the middle of this area and the area at the end of the Forest of Hope. So next up, we still have one more task for the white Pikmin here. We have to dig up a treasure in a very precarious spot. This is actually kind of scary. I might actually wait for the treasures to arrive so we have a full group of Pikmin before actually having to fight a bunch of things. But we can actually start digging up the treasure now. I just might not want to fight anything and clear a path until we have all of our Pikmin reassembled. So I'm going to try to lure this Wallywog away from where we need to be digging, so they'll leave the Pikmin alone. The treasures should be back right about now. And this is the massage girdle for 100 Pokos. And we have the optical illustration for 140 Pokos. I think by now it should be obvious why I don't like collecting enemies. in the caverns because we are really close to 10,000. If we collected every enemy we saw up to this point, we actually might have too many Pikmin, or not too many Pikmin, too many Pokos, and actually end the day too soon by actually paying off all the debt. So I actually deliberately like to set it up in such a way that we basically have the exact amount before the final cavern in order to do everything in the Perplexing Pool in this day. Otherwise, the day automatically ends once you reach 10,000 Pokos, so if we get to that number too soon, we would have to come back for the final treasures in the cavern. So yeah, I just like to structure it this way that we actually don't have to worry about that, and we can get everything in this day. First things first, I actually want to go over here and defeat the water dumples. I do like to lure them away. I don't like to fight them as a group, because it is a lot harder to fight them in a group rather than individual. And now, with more flower Pikmin, thankfully, we'll start to carry this back. The flower Pikmin, if we have all 30, they should be fast enough to actually carry this back. I might actually keep a close eye on this, and try to... I'm like, do I defeat this one? Maybe I should defeat this one, just so it leaves the Pikmin alone. I really don't like fighting Wallywogs. I find it actually really annoying. At the very least, this will distract it away from the Pikmin carrying it back, so they'll leave the treasure alone. So yeah, that was kind of almost more for a distraction than anything. And also, we definitely need some more nectar for what's coming up, so I am going to try to get some more flower Pikmin. We're almost to the end of the day. I do want to take some time to collect one more bitter spray. I would like to have 5 for this cavern. I would have liked to have more, in all fairness, but we definitely don't have enough time for that. So yeah, we are basically as ready as we will be, which, I'll be honest, is not ready enough. You will never be ready enough for this next cavern. That might sound like an exaggeration, I am not kidding. This next cavern is the scariest thing to this point. It is definitely one of the toughest things on a casual playthrough and like a first-time playthrough. So yeah, look forward to this, because this will be very chaotic and interesting, potentially, especially if we're trying to get through this without losing Pikmin, which we are, so this will make it exceptionally difficult, even more difficult than it would be otherwise. And we have the Onion replica for 30 Pokos. And that's the final above-ground treasure of the Perplexing Pool, taking our total to 9595, which is a really cool final number to have. But we're not done yet. We still have a little bit of time left in the day. We're going to take this set of berries back, quickly reassemble, put the white Pikmin away, and then quickly go over to the opposite area and tackle this final cavern, which is both exciting and terrifying. I'm looking forward to being done with this, if I'm being honest. I'm not looking forward to completing it. I almost feel like I'm really hyping this up, but again, if you've never seen this game before, you are in for a treat, and if you haven't, or if you have seen the game before or played it before, then you know exactly why I'm talking about this cavern the way I am, because this is easily one of the most talked about aspects of Pikmin, Pikmin 2, and not in a positive way, I'll say it that way. The entrance is completely surrounded by water, so we can only take blue Pikmin. Also, in addition to that, we don't want a full squad. If you take a full squad, it actually creates problems later on. So I recommend taking 75 to 80 Pikmin with you. Yeah, if you take a full squad, you will actually mess yourself up for something. That is very helpful and will make this next area a little bit less of a chore. It's still going to be a chore, but it'll definitely minimize how bad it is. We'll get there right at the end of the day, so we actually did use basically all the time we had, which was nice. Definitely don't want to carry that back. We want to head straight to the cavern, and yeah, we're going to hopefully finish up the Perplexing Pool. How did the pellet end up there? I guess from the Withering Blowhog. So, This is the Submerged Castle. So I've definitely been hyping up this area, and here's why. With only blue Pikmin, we have to deal with every kind of hazard. We have a fiery Bulblax, which is why I recommend having the bitter spray, because we can basically freeze it in the water and defeat it before it has a chance to eat any Pikmin, and then we get a treasure. So let's carry this back really quickly. For 15 Pokos, we have the Bug Bait. Our next treasure is right over here. This is actually a good first floor. Maybe I spoke too soon. So yeah, we have a lot to worry about in this particular cavern, which makes it extraordinarily scary, and there's actually more mechanics about this that make it even scarier than it may initially look. Like, obviously, dealing with all of these hazards with blue Pikmin isn't the most, most exciting prospect, but it gets worse. And we have the Diet Doomer for 25 Pokos. We are still not done with this floor. Basically, I'm going to say it right away. Also, there's a geyser on the first floor. That is extraordinarily ominous. Yeah, they're literally already giving you an escape route, and we've just started. So what makes this area so bad and notorious is there's actually a timing system. You basically have roughly 5 minutes to collect everything in each floor of this cavern, otherwise your life will be miserable, I'll put it that way. I'm hoping, if all goes well, we won't even see what I'm talking about, but there's a very good chance we will, and yeah, we want to hurry. We don't want to dawdle too much on these floors. We want to get the treasures, like go in, get the treasures, and get out ASAP. Potentially even station a captain by the exit as soon as you find it. Because as soon as the radar stops going off, you want to get out. Like, it is like no joke. This is the first floor too. It gets worse as we go further into this cavern too. Yeah, this is the easy one. But with that, I think that should be the final treasure. And we found the pastry wheel, worth 35 Pokos. Alright, we are good to move on. Moving on to floor 2, we have a new type of enemy called a Bulbman. It's kind of like a Bulbear in that it roams around, so let's use a spray and try to defeat it quickly, because it will very easily eat Pikmin otherwise if we don't use a spray. The confused Bulborb has fallen in with the Pikmin. They appear to coexist peacefully. Strange. This Bulborb has a leaf sprouting from its spine, much like the leaf on a Pikmin's head. By defeating the Bulborb, or the Bulbman, we can actually have the smaller Bulbman in our party, which is very good. They are very strong, and if we had a full group, we wouldn't have been able to find any. Next up is the Comfort Cookie for 10 Pokos. So, the trick with the Bulbmin is they actually resist everything. So in a cavern with every hazard, it is definitely good to have the Bulbmin around, which is why I recommend not taking a full squad and then losing out on the ability to actually get Bulbmin. You definitely want them for this. There is a caveat with Bulbmin though, because they're so strong, you actually can't take them out of caverns. If we find any Candy Pop Buds, you might want to use them in order to actually turn them into Pikmin to take out of this cavern. Let's break this. This is blocking the entrance. And again, we definitely want the entrance cleared ASAP. Again, we want to get through this in about 5 minutes or less. Otherwise, things will go south very quickly. Let's leave Louie at the entrance so we can make a quick getaway when we're done. And there should be another treasure on the other side. There's this other passageway too. So let's start heading this way. Again, you basically don't want to waste any time on this cavern because, again, if that timer runs out, you will be in big trouble. So yeah, let's defeat the orange Bulborb right away. That sadly knocked off a lot of flower Pikmin. We also have this, the Decreening Dirigibug. This drops bombs. Actually, let's not worry about this one. Let's just move on, try to get to safety through this pipe. That one Pikmin is kind of stuck, but we got through it. This is the Confection Hoop for 60 Pokos. So through this pipe, we should be able to find the next treasure. One of the benefits of actually making a Let's Play is you always have a timer at all times. So you can very easily track how much time you've spent on the floor, which is one of the benefits of making a Let's Play, but also makes it scary in case something goes wrong and having to like restart the floor, which again, the game does autosave after every floor, so if we do have to restart at any point, it's not the end of the world, but it will be kind of annoying. I would like to get through this first try, like every floor first try, but I'm also convinced that will never happen, just by the nature of how ridiculously difficult this cavern is to get through without losing any Pikmin whatsoever. We have some Dweevils getting in the way, a lot of Dweevils getting in the way, I guess. If that one would try to pick up the Dwarf Bulborb, that would be really nice, but it's not going for it, because of course. Again, also one thing worth bringing up again is you don't need the Pikmin with you when you go to the exit. It will count. So, we definitely don't need to round up the Pikmin. We just need to swap over to Louie and get the heck out of here as soon as possible. Worth 40 Pokos, we have the Chocolate Cushion. So yeah, let's swap over and get the heck out of here.